Learn to fight. Yo, John Fitch here, and I have got another fantastic episode of Learn to Fight for you, where we're going to see some rock'em sock'em robots with the McDonald's worker. And in this video, I don't have any problem with the McDonald's worker doing what they did. There was an argument with the customer. Customer put hands on the worker. Sorry. You crossed the line. You don't put hands on people. You put hands on people, it opens the door pretty wide open to retaliate with a lot of violence. The man didn't lose consciousness after getting hit, so I don't even think it was over the top. Some people may say, oh, it's not classy or whatever. I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem. If my daughter was working in this situation and this man put his hands on her, I'm telling her to beat the crap out of the guy. That's just the way it is. You don't let people put hands on you. You don't. You just don't. Now, in this environment, you know, she has backup because there's other workers around. There's other people standing around to jump in and help out. The guy reaches over the counter to grab her, and once that happens, it's hard to make a strong argument for fleeing. I think you kind of got to stand and fight a little bit, and then get away in the situation. Let's check this out, and you guys can tell me what you think, but I'm sure I'm right. Start off, they're arguing. He reaches and snatches her up. Nope, bank. She tried to hit him with one hand, didn't have a good grip, switched the grip on his collar, went to the other hand, went to her strong arm. Not bad. Switches grips again. They're trying to pull her away. She finally lets go. I'm not mad. I'm not mad at her. I don't think it was too far over the top. I hope she didn't lose her job. I'm a little mad at these guys standing around, quite honestly. This guy just assaulted a woman in front of him. He just put hands on her, and everybody else is standing around like nothing. I don't know, man. I don't know about that. I don't know. We'll go back to the beginning here. Man, snatches her up hard. Bang. What are the other guys doing? Nobody else is doing anything. Like, nobody's grabbing the guy in the gray t-shirt. I don't know. And then they just stand around. Finally, some guy comes around the corner to like interfere, but he goes back over. And then they're gonna like take the guy's order. I don't know. Come on. I don't agree with the idea that the customer's always right. If you're putting hands on my employees, no, it's not happening. You're getting dragged out of that store. That's a threshold. That's a threshold that's been crossed. I'm not saying you could use a weapon on them. I'm not saying you could knock him out and continue to power bomb him and keep kicking the crap out of him. But no, he put hands on one of your workers. I don't think there's anything wrong with physically removing him at that point. These guys, if they knew something about fighting, if they knew something about hand fighting, if they knew something about self-defense, they could have stepped in there, grabbed a chicken wing, grabbed him from behind, picked him up, carried him outside, grabbed him from behind, foot swept him, mat returned him. There's a number of things they could have done. Grabbed him by the ankles, dragged him out. I think all of those things would have been better than standing around watching this guy grab a handful of this little girl's shirt. I mean, and then this guy in the suit, the manager, he's gonna stand there and take an order? Nope. I don't see that, man. I don't see that at all. I don't get it. Back to the beginning. Snatch, grabs her. She was standing back. Out of range, and he was leaning forward. She could sense that danger. She needs better technique, though. She needs to learn how to punch better. A little self-defense, maybe eye gouge. Maybe a little thumb in the eye would have been better than those punches. Turn him into a Cyclops. Call him Mr. Bisping. I got no problem with that. And I'm not white knighting here for a woman. If this was a man who he reached across and snatched up, and you know, the only reason this skinny fat bald dude snatched up that worker was because she was a female. It was a small, not female, but a small person. If that was a small male, he probably would have done the same thing. He probably would have felt like a big man just because he was bigger than that other person. Man, I don't like that. I don't like these type of people. Like, he thinks he's protected because he's a customer and you can say and do whatever you want to. A worker, like, that's a tough job, man. I've had service industry jobs, man. No, it's like, it ain't happening. We had a guy take a swing at a bartender once. Didn't even hit him, but that was enough, bro. That was enough for me to get out from behind the bar and get rid of him. I escorted him very nicely to the back door. I opened the door with his face. I threw him out onto a car, and the police pulled up as I did that, and they arrested him. It was great. It was great. I pulled the old Al Bundy. If you ever watched Married with Children, when his daughter would have boyfriends over and he'd catch him, he'd throw him out. He'd always walk him into the doorway before he pushed him out. That's kind of what I did. They should have done that to this guy here. Is it just me? Does it boil your blood a little bit when you see something like that? Not just because it's a woman, but it's just a much smaller person. And it's a service worker. Like, it's somebody who's like serving your food and like sweating around for the minimum wage and shit. I just hate that, man. It really bothers me. Ugh. Ugh. A little violence for you. And you know, these type of things should be avoided whenever possible. I don't think that worker had much opportunity to avoid that fight. I don't. She could see at the very beginning of the video, she had taken a step back already. He had to lunge pretty far across that counter to grab a hold of her. I don't know what happened before this, but unless she punched him or stabbed him or shot at him, there's no real reason for him to reach across the counter and snatch her up. It's just not necessary, unneeded. This is a clear case of a situation where your average person would have had a huge advantage over knowing some self-defense, knowing some hand fighting. My practical self-defense course down below, you can look at. It's all grappling, hand fighting stuff, snap downs, getting to 2-on-1 positions. They could have easily grabbed a 2-on-1 position on this guy with the gray shirt, walked him outside. Two of the guys could have done it. A guy on each side could have grabbed the 2-on-1. They could have escorted him outside. Yeah, they're McDonald's workers. They shouldn't have to know whatever, but blah, 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 blah. You're a human being. Human beings act out violently sometimes. You need to know how to defend yourself. And if you work in a job, in an industry where you have to deal with people and some of them are just foul, like this guy was, you better know something. If you are a bartender, a server, a security guard, a McDonald's or Arby's type worker, you bet your ass you better know something. You better know something, because people already are coming at you like you're lesser than them. They think they're lesser than you. They can push you around. They can boss you around. They can beat you up. You can't stand for that. And this douche, this bald douche in the gray, this skinny fat douche, so a guy like him would definitely benefit from training martial arts, because he's going to get his ass kicked over and over and over and over again at the gym. And he's going to have to learn how to compose himself and understand you don't put hands on people. You just don't. You don't do it. It's not okay. It's not okay. So don't be these people. Don't be these people. Learn how to defend yourself. Learn how to fight. Understand violence. Understand body language. This worker, she didn't do too bad of a job. He was hostile. She took a step back. He made an extra effort, right? She had a fence up. Basically, that counter was a fence. He made a move over the fence, over the boundary, to make contact. I say that in my programs, that if you create a boundary or you use a boundary or a fence in front of you, like that counter or your hands, and they come over the top of that or try to go around, that's game on. They made a significant effort to do physical harm to you in some way. That to me, that's completely defensible in a court of law. I always want you guys to think about the legal ramifications of your actions, because you have to. You could defend yourself, but if it looks bad and it's not the right situation and you use too much force, there's a good chance that you may end up being the one who is punished, whether it's, felony, jail time, prison, or a civil suit. Somebody sues you for damages because you broke their wrist or their finger, or you knocked them out and they got brain damage. all kinds of gnarly things can happen from that. So get your butts to a gym. Check out my programs below. Check out all of the stuff I have available about self-defense. The Intro to Practical Self-Defense course is free. That's at least a start. And get yourself some specific training for self-defense, man. All right? The world's not going to get any nicer just because you're a nice person or a good person. You got to be ready. All right? Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate you. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, share with your friends. Maybe you got some coworkers that you work at a fast food joint or something like that, and you work the late shift and drunks come in. That can be a very difficult time to work. And if you don't know how to defend yourself, bad things can happen. Maybe you and your work crew go to a class together, go to a seminar together, chip in together, pool your money together, buy my program, and train together. Learn something so that you're not put in a vulnerable position. Okay? A lot of foul people out there. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll check you later.